This is a breaking news of the Ambazonia War of Independence. Ambazonia Defense Forces, the vanguards of the Ambazonia War of Independence.
Mr. and Mrs. Agodi of Pectin, Cameroun. We're going to let country walk up. I got over. Of Great Britain, Ajo. For all commission of UK, man, business development manager of London, Great Britain. Women are committed. Women running the solar. Siswaswara. I took him a come. I don't go there to we want to go and go at the shop. Make us in it. This is Emilia Ashu of London, Great Britain. Mr. and Mrs. Agodi of Pectin, Cameroun. We're going to let country walk up. Of Great Britain, Ajo. For all commission of UK, man,
My fellow Ambazonians, good evening for all now. For all our people that don't take the time for joining me today. For all our big papa them and big mommy them. For all our uncle them and our auntie them. For all Ambazonian picking them and all our people them. We the day for all over the world. Good evening for now. I be una brother Asu. We are the press secretary for the Executive Office for Governing Council of Ambazonia. That means say I be the spokesperson for the Office for the Leader for our War of Independence, Dr. Ayabacho. Good evening for all una. I be very happy say all we don't come meet up for this day for today. I be very happy for bring una a message. The message I want bring up for our people them today. Now the message where we don't get them. We don't come out for the colonial capital of La République du Cameroun. Today, we will give una the message of which Cameroon the planner, because of which it happen for the international system, because of which the world, especially which the world they talk about the Ambazonian problem. As always, when the world don't gather, when the world don't gather for talk say they say wetin Cameroon they do for Ambazonia, their massacre them for Ambazonia, all their crimes the way they commit them for Ambazonia, when the world don't gather, Cameroon go always, they will go for inside and for go do nakoni. So today I go can explain them for our people then, give una this breaking news, where they leak intelligence we don't get them, for which la Republic do plan them, for which the world the plan them. So I go to take una today for a comprehensive review or a comprehensive, how you put me? I want to give una a comprehensive understanding of what war of independence. What did it happen for inside la Republic of Cameroon, and what did it happen for the side of the Ambazonian people them, and what did it happen for the side for the international system. So what did basically I want to do today, now forgive what people them. What did be Ambazonian understanding of the war from the eye of the Ambazonian people them. Now how Ambazonia they see this war from Ambazonia their own eye. Number two, now how the world it is see the war from the eyes of the world. All right. And number three, now how La République du Cameroun it interpret these things from the colonial eyes of Cameroon. Then at the end, I go can't give now why Cameroon it take the steps and way they take them. I go also point out during this outing some mistakes and where Ambazonia they don't make them. All right. I'm not there for you for just for can't talk say all team be well for the Ambazonian people. Them no. I go point out some mistakes, them defense mistakes where Ambazonia they make them, leadership mistakes where Ambazonia they make them, and waiting we as a people we need for do them for make sure say we not fall chucky again, just like we fall chucky the last time. So all money place there when I come find my Facebook, it don't be they don't block Facebook don't block my Facebook again. So I know if you do live videos for Facebook. So we don't go way back for YouTube. When I know so we don't transition for YouTube and then we say no, we'll come back for our Facebook family. Facebook say no, we don't want you on Facebook. You give Pop too much headache. Go back. So I don't go me back on YouTube. So any person who want to get updates, follow me now for YouTube. If now for Facebook, you know they get the live notifications. Now they wahala that already. But when I know say our Facebook community now our biggest community. So I go start first by salute. I go start. May I start first for salute all our people, our friends them, our brothers them, and our sisters them. When our biggest social media community, may I salute the one the way they do it for Facebook, and then we can start the story proper. Story today over plenty. All right, Comrade Ivan, I did see you, Mr. Shu. Well, I salute you. As you know, your place there. Comrade Ben Dawson, you talk say music though. That music though, I know say when I play that music, I salute you, my man. Comrade Wanji, I did salute you, Mr. Mekov. I salute you now. All right, Bensla, I salute you, Mr. Bensla. I salute all now. Tema. I salute you, Tama, Mr. Mallet. I salute you, Ma Ophelia. I salute you, sister, fine woman. All right, Comrade Ross. I salute you, Mr. Madam Jukes. I salute you. Who today for you, Comrade Frank Eno? I caught you cafe, Comrade Amber Freedom. We salute all now. Mami Wally, Mami Shake no day. We salute you. Your place there, Mami for all soldier them. Shake no day. We salute you, Mami Wally. Amber Freedom. We salute all now. All right, who today for you? Ma Rosita, we salute you, young girl. We salute you, this sweet young girl for that side for United Kingdom. We salute you. Hey, mami spot today for you. Well, mami we do fine spot. Mami Irene, we salute you, fine nyanga mami. We salute all now. Anyway, all one Ambazonian mami then nyanga mami. Ivoline, we salute you, Mr. Gamet. We salute all now. Riza, we salute you. Paddy Man, we salute all now. Who today for you? All right. Mr. Nkwen, we salute you, Mr. Nkwen Pikin. All money plays there. Solomon, we salute all now. Siddiq, we salute you too. All right, Mr. Ebot. Echina, I salute you. So, all money plays there. When I welcome, as always. So, we'll be very happy say when I don't take the time for join with. The story for today, it go over plenty. The story for today make what people they take note. A lot of which I go to talk for here. Now the only place where you go get this kind of information, this kind of analysis, you go only get and only from ACN. Make we start the story. My fellow Ambazonians, we don't come too far too soon. The progress with the Ambazonian people, they don't make them in the shortest period of time, just within from 2017 to 2021. All right, just within 4 years, almost 5 years now. The progress we don't make them, almost 4 years. The progress we don't make them. It be too great. Past waiting, we as a people would give ourselves the credit for. We don't do extremely well. We don't change the way with the international system, if they think about what did happen for Ambazonia. We don't change the narrative. We don't change how did it look Ambazonia versus Cameroon. We don't change that narrative. So we as a people, we don't do extremely well in terms of our strategy for ground. Well, our forces, I think they don't create a lot of miracles in terms of the ability for undermine Cameroon, the ability for delegitimize Cameroon. Also, the way the international system don't respond, it don't change. But all those things, they get small confusion then, where it make the international system, especially the big organizations like United Nations, European Union, African Union, all these organizations, where Ambazonians they look up to for say the fit step up for leadership, for provide solution. All these things then, they cause a little bit of confusion here and there, and it make it make and need to take one action where it will really make sure say a negotiation will be credible and it be fair, it take place. So which I want can provide them for our people today. Now, just a review of what did happen, and then for tell we now what Cameroon the planner and why Ambazonia they get for be very concerned. The Ambazonian people they get for be very concerned for the game where Cameroon want play them again. And then I go give suggestions of on what Ambazonia they fit do in order for also twat or for scatter la République du Cameroon their nyama plans. Make we start. The War of Independence is start now a conflict between two countries, between Ambazonia and la République du Cameroon. Now a conflict between the occupied people of Ambazonia and the occupier in la République du Cameroon. According to how the world is see this matter, it is see this matter now a war between a people that they under occupation and a people that they try for come out under occupation. So each side, Ambazonia they try for tell their own story for the world. La République du Cameroon they also try for tell their own story for the world. And now who tell a good story? When I talk say a good story, not when I say the story makes sense or it be logical, but now who know how to play the game. The game now a game play to win. Either you play the game for win or you play the game and then you lost. Now the goal that. For place where would they as a people, what did it happen right now? A report don't come out from what they call and say International Security Studies. A big organization where the world they read now that kind of organization they report for no the kind of action and for taken for place where war they. That organization don't come, it can put out a report this I think that early this week or last week. Wait for the ISS report. That report be very important, and we hope say Ambazonian diplomats, Ambazonian people them where they do strategy for our war. We hope say they will take that the recommendations or the findings of those people they take them seriously, but some they be debatable. All right. According to that report, most of them will already know. Number one for that report, they say the Cameroon government, since this war start, it don't give na half solution. That means they give na the solution the way they need to live up to the expectation of the problem. The one international report, it tell the Cameroon government and it tell the world, say since this problem start, the solution the way the Cameroon government they offer them, not be na the solution the way they fit solve the problem. So na half measures. They take steps them. Not be na for solve the problem, but they take step them now for delay the process, for delay them in order for Cameroon for maintain its occupation. Now the first thing they talk about. So they discredit Cameroon They just discredit Cameroon. So they not be serious to solve the problem. Cameroon not be serious to solve the problem, and the solution that Cameroon they propose them, they not fit solve the problem. So Cameroon they basically describe Cameroon as a joke. Now a country where it be made up of jokers. Number 2, they talk say the Ambazonia, the problem for southern Cameroons. Now a problem where this war of independence it be led now by grassroots, not be a movement where it be led by the elites. It be very important for our people then. Very, very important. Because the leader tell we say the people, as the people they take control, therefore the people they will determine the future outcome. For most cases, when these corrupt elites, where most of them, now people they don't either work with CPDM, now people they don't work with Cameroon government, if not then they take control of the revolution, then you go know say it go become now a corrupt process for just secure position them, instead for liberate the land, give the people freedom, give the people rights, give the people opportunities. So it be very important as that document or that platform, the ISS report, it talks say now a grassroots movement when the people from the ordinary men and women, the 99% people them, now them, they champion the freedom, the liberation of Ambazonia. Number 3 thing where they talk for that report, what I think say it be very, very important. They talk say they say the Cameroon government, when as this matter start, they start first for deny say the problem not there. Then they come out say, oh, okay, the problem there, but the problem now a language problem. Now a language between the French and English. Now because this they never really put English and French fine within the two sides. Now the reason that way this problem there. So that's why the Cameroon government now it can't create what they call and say the Commission of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism. So now the solution that way the Cameroon government it be offer them. Say, oh, if they change the way with the language there for the country, because according to them, Cameroon be they look at this problem like saying a language problem. It go solve the problem. These people that talk say that one, it be been a lie, it not be been a language problem, but the solution, it be been a wrong solution. Then it no end for day. They come out now say, oh, not be now a language problem, but now say if they create the disarmament commission, the disarmament and reintegration commission, it will solve the problem. That means say they go take all these people them, all these fighters them, they go just go however they want to do them, whether not for just go catch all them, carry all them for bush, or wait or bribe all them. If they just do them, then the problem will finish. Those people decide say their disarmament and reintegration program, it also be been a half measure, it not be fit for solve the problem, it not be been a solution to the problem, and it not live up to the expectation. And that one too, it be fail, right? From disarmament, what the Cameroon government do? They try bilingualism, it fail. They try disarmament, it fail, because it not be now for solve the problem, it be just be things the way Cameroon government be do for when I listen fine. Whether na the disarmament commission or na the DDR commission, all right, all those things it be they be the doing not be na for solve the problem, but na for make the international community make it move in hand. When I hear fine, any step where the Cameroon government, the Cameroon colonial government, it be the taken na a manipulative act, na a manipulative strategy for not make the international community come inside the matter. All those things where they be doing, na jama solution them, all right? Na rice and beans solution, na solution them for fufu and eru, na solution them for bottle export, na mimbo solution them, na matango solution them, for make the international community make it not come inside the matter, so that Cameroon go talk say, but would it solve the problem? Now the step then this would be taken for solve the problem. So now just manipulative solutions. Disarmament, bilingualism commission and the DDR commission, all those things that be been manipulative solutions force the international community, say, move your hand for this matter. From there, when all those things they don't fail, they come now when the international community don't rally, it talk about an international negotiation, especially when the staff will talk about the Swiss process. The Cameroon government also do the same thing we don't always do. It rush, it run, okay? It rush and it run for go organize the Grand National Dialogue in order for put brakes for any action with the international system it want taken. Now the psychology this of a dictator, they be very manipulative. They be very manipulative. And because they understand the international system, they always want to manipulate the international system for put brakes for the international system, their effort for solve the problem, for pressure the government, may come for table, for pressure the government may take concrete steps for address the root causes. Because the Cameroon government, it be very fearful for address and acknowledge the root causes of the crisis. So that's why they come up with manipulative solutions where they no go ever fit for come close to addressing the root causes of the problem and for acknowledge say Cameroon presence for Ambazonia na problem of occupation. So from there now, they come out, they go for Grand National Dialogue. And for them for succeed for that Grand National Dialogue, they go for bribe some enablers and do some kind of things. But just for tell the international community once again, say they don't come together. And for that Grand National Dialogue, when I remember within themselves, the Grand National Dialogue, it be been a meeting of CPDM people then. All right? The Grand National Dialogue, it be been a meeting of CPDM Central Committee and their subcommittee then. Now just a meeting of CPDM elites. They take all these people then, all them, Padia Sanga them, all, with some of them, the Nganakowe for Euro, where they bring all them. Now members of the CPDM or SDF, they just take all these people and go put them inside one hall, and then within a few days, take a few people them, and then within a few days, they say, hey, we don't solve the problem for Northwest and Southwest. We don't grant special status for those people then. We don't create House of Chiefs. So the problem don't be solved. Now so, Cameroon government, it take them, once again, it manipulate the international system. And then they slow down any international intervention or any international pressure. It not solve the problem. Now, since they do their Grand National Dialogue till now, the international community, they monitor if Cameroon go succeed or the Ambazonian people, they go succeed. So the world be the watch and the wait. Now who go prove who wrong? Right after the Grand National Dialogue, Cameroon government now is start for plan for prepare for host the African Nation Cup Championship and for play some of those match them for inside Ambazonia. For proof to the world, say they not only solve the problem, but they don't win the war. So the place where the Ambazonian people, they fail. Now because, now say, when they know say, they say, Cameroon, it do a manipulative strategy and for give the impression to the world, say, they don't defeat the resistance, they don't solve the problem, and their solutions, they don't be accepted by the people, so peace don't return. The Ambazonian people be failed. The Ambazonian leaders or an Ambazonian defense groups them, especially the Ambazonian Defense Forces, they be failed for provide an effective plan for completely stop the African Nation Cup Championship will take place. Some of the games they take place of Victoria. So it be been a big failure for Ambazonian people then, for Ambazonian leaders, especially the leading movement, especially the leadership of the ADF. It be been a big failure. Say there be no way to Cameroon they do one, but they not be take the concrete steps in advance for make sure say they stop the African Nation Cup Championship games where they will take place on Victoria. So it be been a big blow. That this thing be been a big blow for Ambazonia. As long as those games that will take place, it proved to the international community, it proved to African leaders, and it proved to most countries and would they be interested for help Ambazonia. It proved to them say Cameroon did make progress for restore peace. So it been a big blow to Ambazonia. And La République du Cameroon be get some enablers who help them. All right? They be get some enablers within Ambazonian revolution where they help them. Instead for these people, them for plan, they call now for ghost town. Instead for mobilize forces them, put forces them together, give forces them advanced materials and training and support for disrupt this thing. Some of this movement, them, they can only call now for ghost town. Make a give some credit to the ADF and some of the sister forces them. The Ambazonia Defense Forces for FACO, under Captain Small Pikin, they try their best for mobilize and bring all the forces them for FACO and for Meme together, and they carry out some actions. Those actions, they be try, but they not be enough for really disrupt and stop the whole thing. But they try. So we get for give, we get for be fair, we get for be balanced. Groups like Mountain Lions and the other groups them for FACO and Meme, they be really try. They carry out some good actions for Victoria. They carry out some actions for Muyuka. They carry out some actions for Mutengene. They carry out some actions for Boya. They try, but they not be enough. All right. So we get for be balanced for our critique or a try. So from there, that game will take place. It be really change the narrative for the international system, and Cameroon be get some confidence. After that African Nations Cup Championship, Cameroon gain some confidence. Paul Biya began some confidence. Say yes, they make progress because for the fact that they hold that game, the international system be really give Cameroon a little bit of they relax the pressure on Cameroon. All right. So now one of those things, and that way we'll get for learn from, and we'll take note for prepare in advance. Now Cameroon move in from that point with this confidence for borrow a little bit of money for outside, because after they host that event, the whole game for that event, the whole reason why Cameroon be try for make sure say he host that event, not just a confidence building measure within Cameroon for proof to the people then for Cameroon and for proof to their international partners say their strategy will work. So it will be a confidence building measure for Cameroon. All right. From there, they be get access. They be after that event, the world be give them again. They go back, they go borrow some small money, and when I know say the borrowing of that money, it boosts their morale for keep their soldier them for fight. Once they do those things and they get that money, it boosts their morale. Now they move for the next step. This next step now, it be then of the next step now for the try, for recruit, for buy top soldier them or commanders them, and now they go to use them, say they don't defect, those commanders, they don't come for their senses. When I remember, Nambere, it increase a game on the ground for try for make sure say they buy soldier them, they bribe soldier them, they convince some soldier them, make they leave the war. All those things that been at the propaganda for Cameroon for use them, for continuously build their confidence within Ambazonia and within Cameroon, say their strategy it work. While they be the plan for launch plenty attacks them, for the satellite forces them, and for weaken the resistance for ground. Cameroon will be very successful for weaken the resistance, especially for the state of Meme, especially within Indian, within FACO, they weaken the resistance to a significant extent. Even for Manu, they weaken the resistance for Manu to a significant extent. They bribe some of the fighters then. The former mayor, where they take it out for the former mayor for Manfe. When I know say it be do it best also for reduce a lot of those boys, and because being a young guy, it will be influential for reach out to a lot of those young guys, persuade some of them, and then they come out. After they take out the mayor for Manfe, the new mayor where they bring in for Manfe, they give 82 million. They give 82 million for this project. The Cameroon military leadership, they give 82 million for bribery project. Make it go, it work, it not be there now for be mayor for Manfe, but it work be there now for take this 82 million and use the community enablers, the community elites, these CPDM elites them. Now for take all this money, go within these communities and persuade, convince a lot of these boys and what they don't decide for sacrifice and defend the communities, the Ambazonian people, for convince a lot of them, may they go into exile for Nigeria. And so for Manu, they succeed to a greater extent, not being for kill fighters, but now for bribe a lot of these fighters then with small chicken change, with small money for chicken and how they call them, and potato fries. That's just money for chicken and fries. They give them 100,000, 50,000. The person cross, he go for Nigeria within 2 weeks. That money don't finish. Then he go become frustrated. Now the whole go that. People them like Dr. Akwanga and the other gang them, they enter inside. They also use that same strategy. They move a lot of fighters for field. So a lot of this thing, it be being at a place where Ambazonians, they suffer during this period. The Ambazonian War of Independence, it be get some, will suffer small during this period. At that same time, the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it be the mount international pressure and be the exposed Cameroon, their cunning, their manipulation of the international system, and why it be educate the world and the Swiss, why that process, it not be the move forward, it not be if it make any progress, it not be get any meaning and it not be strong, and then they can realize and say the Biya government, all those people they been make noise about that Swiss process, they can realize and say Cameroon not be even commit for that process, and Cameroon not be get any interest for that process, because why then they be talk about their Swiss thing? The Cameroon government they organize a grand national dialogue, and then after the grand national dialogue, Cameroon just forget about these people then. But these people then for outside here, they still carry on for their head for continuous deception of the Ambazonian people then on behalf of Cameroon, because they're a double game. Why Cameroon already hold a grand national dialogue finish out? Some other people they be there for outside. All right, they just there for outside here. Why AGOFC they try for educate the international system, clean up the image of Ambazonia, put pressure, educate the world, and make sure say we get a fair and credible negotiation. The other people they still carry that failed process for their head. They sing them every day. Oh, the Swiss talk, oh, the Swiss talk, oh, the Swiss talk, oh, the Swiss talk. And Cameroon not be even commit. And Cameroon not be the participate. It be only been on one side. Now only one side be the talk about the whole thing. Cameroon not be ever the talk about the Swiss process. Because they be know the game. And the only reason why these people they be carry that Swiss process for their head, because it be only been at the only thing where they get them for hang on to Ambazonian leadership and hang on to Ambazonian War of Independence. So this thing be cause a lot of pain for Ambazonians then. Because during that time, according to the psychology, negotiations they come. So many people they relax. So people they relax in terms of contribution on self-defense. People they relax in terms of mobilization. People they relax in terms of sensitization. And these people then, all right, I don't like for the call names anymore, because by calling these people their name, they give them some relevance. So no one they call their names, but they will not know who they be. So during this process, when I be say the investment on self-defense for ground, it be significantly reduced for the side of Ambazonia. Why Cameroon be the increase in investment? Because the impression where these people, they can't get from Ambazonian people and say, negotiation they come, so they don't need for fight anymore. Now that one be their impression. So they weaken Ambazonians, their morals, because they give Ambazonian people them false hope. It be been a strategy of false hope. Until this moment, those people, no one can apologize for the Ambazonian people, them. Even the way they talk, say they be people for the Muslim scholars. Then no one can apologize. Say they be wrong because it take them 2 years for the Swiss people then for tell and say, well, we'll be very sorry. And now they even talk, say they say the people, all these people they be good, they be very weak in terms of diplomacy. The characters of the people, them, the way they represent Ambazonia, it be give Ambazonia a very weak position and they not take them serious. Because of how they present themselves, because of how they carry themselves, and because of how they present the Ambazonian issue for the international system. It make Ambazonia become beggars of negotiations. Instead of people that feel project power for stand for their people, their rights, for self-determination. As a people, they get a land, and they get a land where it get internationally well-recognized borders. But not part of the global politics this. Not part of the politics of relevance this. Not part of the politics this. When people, they can't enter for something or they choke them inside something, and then, the vast majority of our people then, they just give blind support without critical questioning. It get as it be. Now the things that now they already happen. Who's how they? Now the question there on the answer. All right, you don't tell we all these things. Tell we, who's how they now? Well, we're there for a very good place. Una relax. All never chakara, all never spoil. Everything they work in favor of the Ambazonian people. Strategy, it really work for undermine Cameroon army, and it give Cameroon army a lot of problem. So we got to give credit for our forces them. Now, since from that time till now, the Ambazonian Governing Council, why all these things take place, the Ambazonian Governing Council is so continue for warn the Ambazonian people. Say if we not allow ourselves to be manipulated by all this international system, say these talks, that talks. If we not allow ourselves to be manipulated, we not go get ourselves for be blamed because we never really see the signs of seriousness. Now so the Governing Council of Ambazonia Bitewi, now so Dr. Ababitewi, Itewi say, these kind of talks, and they need to just hook up people, they talk say they want talks. You go see signs of the talks. Signs say the talk that they come. Signs say the other side be serious. Signs say the international community be serious. Dr. Abatewi say there is not a single sign a day for tell we say the talks they be serious and they be credible. Itewi. Until today, all man now when I feel laugh and when I feel relax. All right. So who's how they now? From that time till now, wait you don't make Cameroon after all their propaganda. Wait you don't make Cameroon. After all their propaganda, they don't lost. The international community don't change in mind with what Cameroon they talk. Remember, my talk today now about how Ambazonia they see the war, their own war of liberation, how them they see them, but also how the international community they see them. We got our own perception of the war. What be the perception of the international community and what be the perception of Cameroon. na 3 perceptions the day. So na 3 positions the day for look into the matter. One position, na how Ambazonia they see am. Second position, na how Cameroon they see am. Third position, na how the world is see am. And na how all of these 3 different perceptions or position perceptions or perception positions. You see, as I beg, no can make we can confuse with perception, position, perception. Now which one? no can jump person in the head here. No. What on a perception? Now which one? PSA now which one? Na perception position or na position perception? Which one? So you get all these 3 perception positions, different position of perception or interpretation of the same conflict. All right. So you get these different positions. Now, how all this one adds up? It adds up very nicely. Now, for place Ode, everything be in favor of the Ambazonian people then. All right. So despite our setbacks, despite some of our mistakes then, we dey for a very good place. We favor the Ambazonian people then. How this one favor the Ambazonian people then? After Cameroon, it do that African Nations Cup and they get some confidence. The biggest mistake where Cameroon go make am na for continue for commit the massacres. Cameroon, their biggest mistake where it changed the international system, their mind, and the way they look at the conflict and the actions where they want to take on. Now, because of Cameroon, the massacres where Cameroon it commit am. The moment after the African Nations Cup, bam, they commit the Kumba massacre. Bam, they commit the Mautu massacre. Those massacres, it make the world, it take a very tough stand on Cameroon. And it make Cameroon the small confidence where Cameroon be don't gain am. Cameroon lost them. Even the enablers, even the Ambazonian enablers within Cameroon, they be very upset with those massacres. They be very upset. And when I see how they rush Atanganji, bring Atanganji for Kumba, for try for can dodge the whole thing. And when I be watch how Mami for Kumba, he woke up right for Atanganji face. He tell his objection. When Atanganji want talk about saying that God put them for this place, made them be ministers, now God put them for this place, made them be president. He want tell Mami about Bible. Mami put him for say objection. And he tell you no God, you know make una president for he commit this kind massacres on the Ambazonian people. Then. Shut up! And me for Kumba tell you so. And Atanganji immediately he come out from being the hunter for being a person who become the haunted. He come out for he become a small rat. Mami tell you objection and shut up your mouth. Not ever talk that kind of thing for this Kumba, for this Ambazonia. So those massacres, it changed the calculation of the world. You not take the Cameroon government any seriously, and for that international report also, they also point out something will be very, very important. They point out for that report, they say, the Cameroon government, their calculation of the resistance, it be been that one of the weaknesses will make Cameroon not be fit for make progress. The Cameroon government be underestimate the Ambazonian people then. Cameroon government underestimate the capacity of the Ambazonian, their collective defiance. Cameroon underestimate we. The ghost town. 5 years later, the Ambazonian people, Mami, Papa, picking them, they collectively still demonstrate that commitment. Say they want justice for Ambazonia. They want freedom for Ambazonia. They want freedom for Southern Cameroon. That action of Ghost Town, it is still tell the world, say na a grassroots movement, na a collective resistance, and na the people that did demand independence. So the game changed in favor of the Ambazonian people then, as Cameroon they make these mistakes for commit these massacres. During this period, the Governing Council of Ambazonia under Dr. Abacho, it launched an offensive diplomatic mission. He put all the people them for the diplomatic team. He put them for serious work, and he give them a short period of time. And when Asabi during that time, they sent out I think about 180 big diplomatic letters for all the international movements, international missions, religious movements, including the Pope. They get everybody involved. They get a serious engagement with the countries where they really stand for Ambazonia. When I hear a lot of talks, they go on. During that period, the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it don't launch the stabilization force for try for clean up the image of the Ambazonian people them, for project confidence on the ground and project confidence for the international system. They launched this aggressive campaign. And we can't gain the international, the interest of the international system. During that same time, when Asabi said that same time now, the La République du Cameroun, it is see the aggressive campaign where the Governing Council of Ambazonia they take and diplomatically, as the Swiss talks, they don't die. During that time, why did they do this thing? That same time, Ambazonia they get another one. Bam! The Biya government engage the leaders and for jail. Before Ambazonia, the 1 year, 6 points. 4 points. Ambazonia, they say, now wait till this again. You know, wait till this. 4 points. You know, and then Ambazonia, they can't get the clarity. Say the colonial state, they try for gain some, for talk with leaders and for jail, for try for do their own things and down there for ground, and then you know the 4 points be go anywhere anymore, and then the thing to just die so right. So now all the complexities and that which really elevate Ambazonians now the diplomatic offensive where they be launching for bring international communities, international organizations and international leaders them, especially some key countries them. I know if you call their name, the leader will already name some of them for now. I know if you talk that one. They call them, they get involved, and when I see things start move. The United Nations, once Cameroon commit some of those massacres, it make even the United Nations, the office of the Secretary General, the office for Central Africa, the UN office for Central Africa, when I see all these people, them, they woke up, the Norwegian Refugee Council, the United States State Department, the European Union, even for French Parliament, when I really see them, it shake the world. They woke up, they start to engage. The Governing Council start lead the diplomatic process during that time. And they start for project power. And then, the leader can't tell, we say, hey, would he get some talks with the United Nations, pre-talks for establish a framework for how a negotiation will take place. And then after like 3 months, the leader can't tell, we say, well, Cameroon not still commit. So the talks with the leader be the get on with the United Nations through Francois Fall, the leader can't tell, we say those talks, they don't collapse. Because Cameroon still not be one commit. And the United Nations it not be fit for pressure Cameroon enough. Make I explain why. Yesterday, I be talk with one of our top strategists for our war of independence, and I be explain for you the Cameroon strategy. There is a Cameroon strategy where Paul Biya don't use them for win the attention of the world. There is a strategy we use them, a very high psychological strategy, and it work. It work for the Secretary General of the United Nations. It work for the Secretary General of African Union. It work for the Secretary General for the Commonwealth. It work for the Secretary General for the Francophonie. It work for all man. Every single person where he go for La République, for go talk to Paul Biya Paul Biya only get na one strategy way to use them. And a very high psychological strategy. It work for all man. That strategy, now the strategy of gifting, where it induce a psychological process, where they call and say reciprocity. I know we'll go into details, but I think I will make an outing and I will walk through how that strategy will work. Now, a very high level strategy for persuasion. And Paul Biya use to his advantage. And it work. The reason why that strategy also fail, because everything get its own endpoint, now it massacres them. So as Dr. Ayaba rally the international system, gain their trust, when Biya commit this massacre, the world start for vex for Cameroon, they need trust Cameroon, it move Cameroon, it move the world to Ambazonia their favor. It moved the world to Ambazonia their favor. They rally all these things. They talk to the United Nations through Francois Fall with the Governing Council of Ambazonia. Those talks, they can't fail. And the leader be very honest. For can't tell the Ambazonian people, say, hey, I be engaged with pre-talks with the United Nations. And I want can tell when I say the conditions for an effective negotiation, the conditions for an effective talks under the United Nations. The United Nations not be live up to those conditions. Cameroon not be live up to those conditions. And the talks, they don't fail. The leader be very honest. For tell the Ambazonian people, say, in negotiation or pre-talks with the Ambazonian people, them, for which he want establish them, for create a framework, for gain the commitment of Cameroon, and then under the United Nations, so that the negotiations, it will be now a supervised negotiations under international system. The leader be very open. For can't tell what people then say, the talks they fail. And he can't tell we within 3 months, from the start to the end. The other people them, after 2 years, they never fit for still can't tell the people them. Say we'll be engaged for premature talks. Those talks they not be amount to anything. The other side not be commit. The Swiss not be taken serious. The process don't fail. They not get the humility for can't tell we. On the other side, Dr. Ayaba get the humility for can meet up the Ambazonian people, tell and say, look, on behalf of Ambazonia, I be the engage the United Nations. And when I engage them, what talks with them don't fail. It can't tell now. It don't end for day. Cameroon commit more massacres. For February, when I just last month, the international system talks that they no go take anymore the atrocities and way Cameroon they commit for Ambazonia. The United States of America, I think that for December or November last year, they passed the US Senate resolution for force in negotiation and for talk about targeted sanctions of Cameroon. For February this year, when last month, the Canadian House of Commons, they take things to the next level. They come up with a resolution where it be not the best resolution where any country don't ever pass on when it comes to Ambazonia War of Independence. They don't observe since 2016 the CONI of Cameroon, the CONI of Cameroon, the CONI of Cameroon, the CONI of Cameroon. Say Cameroon not be a country will be serious and not be a country where it really want to solve this problem and it really want to engage for a transparent manner with the key actors, with the stakeholders, with the Ambazonian people there. The international community don't recognize it. Cameroon not be serious. Why Cameroon not be serious? When I need to know. Cameroon not be serious because Cameroon presence for Ambazonia be illegal. That's why they not be serious. They not be serious because they know say once they come for the table, the issue of their occupation, it will come up as the root cause of the conflict. They not be serious because the issue, say the act of union between Ambazonia and Cameroon in no day. Now the reason this, now the two reasons and this, where Cameroon it take na jama steps. It take na manipulative steps for use enablers and traitors for present them as people they represent Ambazonians in terms of their negotiation. I hope say all these things it make now a lot of sense for now. So with all this, the international system don't monitor. Say okay, now according to that ISS report, all right, the International Security Studies report, they talk say for 2018, for 2017, now only 6,000 people then they don't cross the border between Cameroon and Nigeria, and they don't register as refugees. Una ye fine. Now only 6,000 they be registered refugees for Nigeria as Ambazonians. According to that report, when Paul Biya talk say all this palaver don't finish, they come out now. They talk say, hey, how you talk say palaver don't finish from 2018 to 2021? Now 62,000 people them. 62,000. How you money come out from 6,000 people to 62,000 people where they be registered refugees for Nigeria? This one official statistics. We need to talk about the people that they never register. The people the way the Nigerian government and the UNHCR people them. They never beat fit for register them because they don't even get the logistics. And people the way they realize and say the process or even register, it be too slow. They don't even care for register. According to unofficial statistics, now about 200,000 Ambazonians today. So how Cameroon go talk say a problem don't finish when between 2018 and 2021 refugees they don't move from 6,000 to 62,000? How? It be unthinkable. Say a country go to lie even to themselves. Statistics don't lie. The facts, they need to lie. How you go move from 6,000 to 62,000? And you talk so you solve the problem. And you talk so you don't solve the problem. And you talk so your measures that work. You move from 6,000 to 62,000? It'd be insane. In terms of refugee movements, the movement of people for cross-border because of insecurities. How you come out from 50 villages where you don't burn them from 2017 to 2021 to 500 villages where they don't be burned down? How you feel explain that kind of thing? And a country, it go to lie to itself. Say it solve a problem? You come out from 50 villages to 500 villages, and they still talk say they don't solve the problem. Tell me how the international community go take such a bunch of morons serious. When the statistics and the facts, they be contrary to their manipulation. So which one the international community go believe in? It go believe in irrefutable facts and evidence? Or you go just believe some colonial paparazzi, colonial pranksters? One other critical thing will come up for that ISS report. That report, it also talks say the way the Cameroon colonial authorities, they did treat the Ambazonian people them. They did treat them with such level of dehumanization. That means say all the SDOs, the DOs, the parliamentarians, the senators, all those colonial people them, where they send them from Ambazonia, They did treat Ambazonian like slaves. And so it made the Ambazonian, the relationship between the Ambazonian people and those colonial elites and the Cameroon authorities, it made the relationship be too far. The people don't fit trust them. And when I don't see them, with don't come up from Cambe. A perfect example of that. Now Wechi don't come up from Cambe. Now Wechi don't come up for, I think they're calling that Lawrence something, the mayor of Cambe. When I see how it treat our people them just this week. Take Ambazonian mommy them. Take Ambazonian papa them. Take Ambazonian brothers and sisters. Move them from the crowd for go execute them. Just by mere accusations. That's why the Ambazonian people they rise up. With all this one them, the Canadian government and most, when I don't hear from the German parliament, when I don't hear from the British House of Commons, when I don't hear from the rebellious French parliamentarian Nadot, Sebastien Nadot, once the Canadian Parliament resolution come up, the government of Cameroon be know say the game don't end for them. It knows say the international community no go fall for their bullshit anymore. It no go fall for their propaganda anymore. I know they wait until more people they be killed for take action. So the Canadian House of Commons resolution, it lay out a clear agenda of the international system. Now they don't move from just talks. They don't move from say they be very concerned to laying out concrete actions where they get for be taken. For that resolution, may I remind one again, or when I don't read them, or when I don't hear them, it is for outside there. Number one, they hold the Cameroon army, the whole Pobia and the Cameroon army responsible for all the human rights abuse and atrocities and all those houses they don't burn from Ambazonia. Now the most important thing that they hold them all accountable. Number two, they talk say they go and rally the world, they want to rally other countries, they want to rally other international organizations for create an international commission for investigation, for go right for ground. Make some person who can tell them. They go create an international commission for investigation, for go for ground, for go investigate all the crimes where Cameroon don't commit them on the Ambazonian people. Them. They go investigate all the villages where they don't burn them. They go investigate all the people where they don't kill them. The one themselves, the one go on the ground. May they go see what did happen. What the people that they go through. But the most important thing with the Canadian resolution, the Canadian House of Commons resolution talking, the most important thing, they talk say this international commission of inquiry, of investigation, now for go investigate the root causes of the conflict. Now for all money hard get for sweet. Now the first time this, for the history of the Ambazonian people them, the international system, it don't be so specific for an action plan. First time. They not be vague anymore. They need to talk about some humanitarian crisis. Say they be concerned about the humanitarian crisis. They be very specific. And they be very prescriptive of the actions where they need for carry on, for bring justice to the Ambazonian people, for establish the facts of the conflict. Because until you establish the facts of the conflict, you establish the damages will don't be caused on people's lives. You know if you prescribe any solution will go be effective and it go create a lasting impact, or it will be acceptable, or it will bring equitable justice. So that's why the moment the Canadian House of Commons resolution be passed, Paul Biya no say Cameroon, it's time for Ambazonia don't come to an end. Because the fact that these people go down, they go actually know say more than the 6,000 people, because now according to the Canadian document, the Canadian House of Commons, the number of Ambazonians so they don't kill them now 6,000, I think 6,200. Now the official number that now. The number where Cameroon, it don't use them through manipulation for with the lobbies them. Now for put the number for 3,000 people then. And it keep that number from 2019, 2020. It keep on 3,000. Say don't keep 3,000, 3,000. Anywhere you go now 3,000. They keep that number for the, and it make the international community not be take the conflict serious. All this one being a manipulative logic. All right. But the official number for the Canada House of Commons, they don't talk now and say I think that's 6,200 people where they don't kill from Ambazonia. So it moved the cry, it moved the war for a different threshold of action. So now the first time this, Biya no say the world they come for ye. Biya no say the world they come for a military. Biya no say the world they come for a bees. Biya no say all the Betty Asomo, the Atanganji Paul, the Lele Lafrique, the Okala Bilai. Paul Biya no say all those Cameroon colonial, how they call them? Colonial, how they call it? Captains, army captain, B captain, B general, B commander, all those SDOs where they give orders for carry out these massacres, for carry out these killings, for carry out these burnings, all those colonial SDO, all them will be involved and the world will hold them accountable and responsible and they go exact international justice on them. Paul Biya no. So this Canadian House of Commons resolution, it make Paul Biya and the colonial state, they go into a panic mode. Their panic mode now, make una also sabi say, during this period, the Ambazonia Governing Council, it did rally Ambazonia them for project a new force for ground. All right? So once Cameroon go into the panic mode, Paul Biya start for fear, no say the world they come for ye, he no say must end up in jail, he no say must end up in prison, he no say all ye with the top people them, including the colonial prime minister, all them go end up in jail for their crimes on the Ambazonian people them, which they quickly do them. Ooh, the one can't deceive the world once more. I one can tell what people say. The Cameroon government as this time, in order for kill the Canada House of Commons initiative for rally international community against Paul Biya, they want do what they be good for doing. As we tell now, I want can tell what people them today. The Cameroon colonial government, they want do another national monologue. Cameroon government, they call for another national monologue. Just for make sure say the Canada House of Commons initiative it not take place. The world not implement them. So now Cameroon don't gather people them again. It don't gather people them again. It say one call now for another grand national dialogue. Now the breaking news is one can give now. Because of the panic. Because of this intense pressure we Ambazonia don't put on for the international system. For expose Cameroon their manipulative narratives and present the truth. You get movements. You get the diplomatic team for Governing Council of Ambazonia. And you get other movements like the CDN, the Coalition for Negotiations and Dialogue, for Negotiation and Dialogue. They launched this diplomatic offensive on Cameroon. Now Cameroon, it don't fear. See, his narrative don't die, his agenda don't die, all their propaganda don't come to an end, and the world don't take concrete and serious actions for bring justice for all Cameroon, their crimes they don't commit for Ambazonia, and for give the Ambazonian people them their right for self-determination. Probably another one. That's why today they work now for call for another national dialogue. All now for avoid international intervention. All now for avoid any international mediation. All now for slow the process for the international system for implement the Canadian House of Commons resolution. Now the manipulation this. And I want to warn the Ambazonian people. I want to take this opportunity for inform the Ambazonian people then. Una prepare yourselves. Some of una leaders, they go become traitors for this second national dialogue. Una prepare yourselves. Some of una leaders, the people una don't consider them like una leaders, they go betray una. They go Yaoundé. Una be ready. A lot of Langa people them. Where Biado already start for prepare them. They go Yaoundé. Una be ready. Una be ready for it. Una be ready. All this one. Now for make sure say the Canadian resolution will not be implemented. Now for make sure say the Ambazonian people they not get their rights, their recognized rights of self-determination. The root causes they not be investigated, established, so that justice, a fair, equitable negotiation will take place. So Cameroon they prepare its own. Remember I tell you now, you either play the game to win, or you play and then you lost. Cameroon never be ready. So they play their own game. And they know how to bypass the international system. I want to just tell you today, Mona be ready. In the coming days, when I will hear about the Grand National Dialogue, I want to hear talks for some Ambazonian activists, their talk will change. Some Ambazonian activists, where since 2017 and 2018 and 2019, we don't start for tell them. For tell them, say, they say, their narrative, for say, they want restore Ambazonia independence. Their narrative for restoration of Ambazonia, for restoration of Southern Cameroon, we already tell those people, say their narrative be wrong. You know if it restores until it not be exist. You want restore Naweti, we be tell these people. When Ambazonia come up for Enugu, for the house, for the Eastern House, they can't establish a government for Boya. They be still be now under United Nations trusteeship. So you want restore now an Ambazonia will be there under United Nations trusteeship? Between that time and you can't reach for 1961, it be now an Ambazonia will be already be absorbed by Cameroon through the fraudulent plebiscite and the non-act of union will not be signed out. You want restore an Ambazonia will be under occupation? Will be tell these people, you know feel restores until it not be exist. Ambazonia never ever be free. So the concept, the notion for say we want restore some Ambazonia. You know if you go back for go talk say you want make Ambazonia continue for be under United Nations trusteeship because we don't end. Except when they talk say they want restore. Maybe they want restore their logic now for restore West Cameroon. If not their logic that then clearly, una go understand why they can't tell the Ambazonian people them with such phrases as restoration forces. Because the only thing where it exists between 1961 and 1972, now West Cameroon. So today, we don't see the tweet. We don't come out with the circulator about how they don't come for their senses. Say, oh, they talk for some diplomats them, and these diplomats they challenge their logic. We start for tell una since 2017, we tell una for 2018 and 2019. For all the activist forum them, we be talk about those things. And we tell una say be very wrong for una for propagate this false presupposition. We tell them for all the forums. We get this argument with them. So if they come out today for can't acknowledge say they be very wrong, then I want the question I want make we start for ask them. These people them, they don't know the difference between liberation and restoration. I want to ask them. Because me I be person where I ask simple question. When I want to tell we say these people they don't know the difference between liberation and restoration. When I ask them, these people don't know the difference between liberation and restoration. If they don't know the difference, then I think they will get a big problem. Or secondly, it will be now an intentional act. My point, now say I want to prepare. And make us start warn any Ambazonian with the claims to be a leader. Any Ambazonian, whether you be an activist, you be a movement, or you be a leader, you accept for go shidon, accept say you want go shidon for Cameroon grand dialogue, no matter what be your interpretation, you will be considered as a traitor. Any movement, any leader, whether you're there for jail or you're there for outside, any Ambazonian activist, where it decide for go participate for a Cameroon process for manipulate the international system, the Ambazonian people will declare you as a traitor. You go join the ranks of the success in Congo and the Namberes. Any leader, any Ambazonian activist, any Ambazonian, where you come out, you go participate for Ground National Dialogue 2.0 in order for stop the implementation of the Canadian House of Commons resolution for the recognition of the right of the Ambazonian people them for their self-determination. For go enable Cameroon, make it implement a special status and their manipulation and continuous occupation of Ambazonia. We go declare you as a traitor and you go join the ranks of the Namberes and the success in Congo. No matter who you be, we no go talk for Cameroon. If Cameroon like, make it commit to the international system and it commit for the Canada Senate House of Commons resolution, for commit for a credible negotiation, the Ambazonian people will negotiate with Cameroon through the international system. But we no go participate for anything we get for do with La République du Cameroon, their own national talks. Cameroon fi hold national talks for bring the people them for north, the people them for the center, the people them for the east, for try for keep their country together. When it comes from Ambazonia, the matter between Ambazonia and Cameroon, now a matter of international, now a matter where now the international system, it get for resolve as the man for the British House of Commons, he acknowledge them. Say the British people, they be betrayed the people of Southern Cameroon for 1961. And at the time this way, they will stand up for render justice for Ambazonia. That's what it says talking. Now a matter for survival, for we, for defend the interest, the aspiration, the hopes, and the failed decolonization process for Ambazonia. Now the time for we for defend the rights of external self-determination of the Ambazonian people them where they don't live under occupation. We no go participate. We no go support anything where it be in the name of Cameroon. So any person, whether you be now which kind leader or you be now which kind activist, we call on all our people then. Now the thing that we give now this information in advance. We want all man on the ground. Any enabler, make a move this conversation further. Any Ambazonian of any person of Southern Cameroon origin, whether you be a colonial parliamentarian, a colonial senator, a colonial chief, any person who will be, if through this process, the Cameroon colonial government is start for give you money, make you go for Ambazonian communities, and you start for propagate, start for organize community meeting them, as to what they'll go discuss them for the second national dialogue. You will be arrested by the Ambazonian people. You will be arrested by the Ambazonian Defense Forces. You will be arrested by the sister forces of Ambazonian Defense Forces. And you will be arrested by any defense group on the ground. Any activity for talk about Cameroon national dialogue for inside Ambazonia, it be illegal. And an act of treason. So any man will go take money, because during this period then, plenty people, the way they get plenty longer, they take them like an opportunity for make money, not go sell their life for Cameroon, for money for chop, for money for put them for your pocket. Any person will go take money for La République du Cameroun, for the go within Ambazonian communities, and for go talk say, they say, you want go participate for Cameroon, their grand national monologue, where they come up. Our forces, they go arrest you, and you will be treated as a traitor. It no matter who you be. Alright? Next. Today, the leader for a war of independence, he don't announce them for the Ambazonian people again. Say, a meeting then will be the get them with the United Nations. They don't stop. When I hear fine. The leader for a war of independence, Dr. Abacho, he don't make me be very public to the Ambazonian people then. Say the meeting then will be the get them with the United Nations for work out a framework where if you bring Cameroon to the table and forget a credible negotiation. All those meetings they don't stop for now. They go only end for this secretariat for Dr. Larry Ayamba and the vice president when I lead those meetings they go end for day. But the leader itself he no go participate for any meeting with the United Nations anymore. The reason now because Cameroon don't still manipulate the internet, the United Nations for look for this upcoming Cameroon colonial meeting like that's something where the United Nations get for taken serious. So that's why the leader put out those things for tell the United Nations. Say the Ambazonian people, they no go tolerate United Nations a complicity. And for treat the Ambazonian people, they will disrespect. Say Cameroon, they organize their own meeting. And the United Nations will can't begin to tell Ambazonian people them some nonsense about Cameroon, their Jama talks. Why Cameroon they continue the massacre? Ambazonian people get forget respect. When the United Nations go talk to Cameroon, that same United Nations must come back, can't talk for the Ambazonian people, then we respect. This game where they play with Cameroon get for end. That's what the leader talk up. Now what did this one mean for all our people then? It means a lot. All this one detail we say was self-defense actions for ground. They don't take we far for give we a good voice for the international system. But the way things they did for ground, we never really project the ground that way. Cameroon, to a certain extent, it don't project the ground until they even declare say the war don't end. So it don't make the international system. It look for things on a 50-50 scale. The launching of the Akamatsu, the stabilization of ADF forces, ADF special forces. It get for being at the way for regain was supremacy of control on the ground. For change the talks of the United Nations. For force the Canadian government for implement their own resolution. It no go be based na the letter don't write them. It go be based na the actions we don't carry over the last few months. The kind of power for project that kind of power will project them. Now the thing that way it go change everything to our favor. Things that don't change to our favor. We don't project power. Cameroon don't panic because of that power we project them. Cameroon don't panic because that power we don't project them. It cost the world for rally. Now the reason that Cameroon panic. So if as we be a smart people, we understand this game and we don't do them very well. Now for increase our efforts on the ground. Now for intensify the build-up of those forces. For put some for here and show the world. Put some for here and show the world. Put some for here and show the world. Power must be seen. Not talk so you get power. Not talk so you supply guns for ground. You must show that power to the world. You must project that power to the world. So the defense groups them, where they need the help for Ambazonian for project power. Well, I believe saying at the time this for every Ambazonian, where you don't see waiting the stabilization force don't do in terms of a change the Ambazonian image for the international system. Join the strategy. At the time this will project Ambazonia more than any time before. For the benefit of our people then. Oh, now give me a moment here. So any person where you be person where you love Ambazonia, you be person where you want to see we succeed, you be person where you want to make we kill. We must first of all kill the Grand National Dialogue before it start. And that's why I don't start for get this conversation all man. We must kill them before it start. We must scatter them before it start. And you know go scatter them just by criticizing Cameroon. You go scatter their intentions. Now when you do more build up on the ground. When I remember, Cameroon talks say they don't win Ambazonia. Dr. Yaba woke up, he said, huh? When I say what he woke up, he launched their Akamatsu. And the world say, hey, how this Modomai talk say they don't win the war? And ADF they launch a bigger force. It make Cameroon look foolish. It make Cameroon look ridiculous. It make Cameroon look stupid. Because Atangaji talk say, Paul Biya don't win the war. 2 weeks later, they not be no say Dr. Haba be the plan. 2 weeks later, they launch these Akamatsus. And it make even Macron say, now wait till this. Paul Biya, how you go money declare victory? And then, For that same territory we don't declare victory, these people, they launch a force and they show the control of territory. They launch a powerful force with professional uniforms. It just defeat Cameroon, their narratives. And it make Atanganji become, how they call them, voices in the bushes. It make Atanganji become voices in the bushes. Wait till be that other talk when he talks about government. He talking about it. So it make La Republic become so ridiculous. So for Chakara and make all waiting La Republic to do and me become nonsense, it only require we now for double our efforts, all right? For make sure say we focus for this stabilization force. For every Ambazonian, we love Ambazonia. Do am for Ambazonia. Make we double our effort. For make sure say we launch the first phase, the second phase of the stabilization force, and we put them for that one other place, and we project them to the world. Today, I hope say una had done over sweet for that machine gun way. They don't put them for outside. No, but when I don't see that machine gun with Dr. Abaddon, he don't write something, he put them for outside. When I see that ADF soldier way, he did for he hold, when I see him. When I see all that machine gun, now the power that way Ambazonia they get for project them. The world be controlled by power. If you not project that kind of power, they no go take you serious. If you not project that kind of power, they no go take you like say they say you get control for the territory. If you not project that kind of power, then obviously they will give Cameroon a chance. You project that power, demonstrate that power, and for sure say you be capable. We must demonstrate, say the block by block, it already defeat Cameroon, but we get for demonstrate to be capable for project a new level of power and authority as the leader talk. We must exert our freedom by the use of force. All right? We must. How do you talk about pigeon? We must take our freedom. Yes. Okay, I don't get the word. The word don't come. We must take our freedom by the use of force. By projecting power. By building power. For make sure say the ground national dialogue not take place and it not get any significance. We must project power. So as we build their commandos, we must also buy that kind of machine gun them. Once the West start to see that kind of thing them, it start to see that kind of equipment, it start to see that kind of forces. Not be only one, but we double them. Because as we tell you now, two strategic locations they dey for Ambazonia, where we got for put those stabilization forces for they, for change the entire game for ground zero. Now two places that remain. We don't put them for one, we got for put them for the other place. And once we put them, the strategy for takeover will be complete. For that time, we will be able for decide. Say the end for Cameroon don't come. Whether na Lele l'Afrique, whether na Okala Bilai. We will decide for that moment. Say, okay, from here to here to here, the forces they don't be strategically positioned for places where for one day they fit decide for capture Boya. Now here, one day we fit decide for send the special forces. Say today, that Boya they go capture them. So now they will come out for different places, and they fit be able for enter Boya, capture Boya, mount Ambazonian flag, capture Okala Bilai, capture the colonial Dio, capture the colonial mayor, and project Ambazonia. If we decide send a man for one capture them, the forces now they will come out for those strategic locations, enter for different places, and then be able for capture Manfe. Now the level this will move day. We must project power. Now power the talk. Una dey see how the strategy dey work, but una must also understand the strategy of the enemy. That's why we can get this discussion for counter the strategy of the enemy and then project our own strategy. Now again, play to win or you play and then you lose. While people don't be determined for play to win, for fight to win, for end the occupation and liberate Ambazonia. Now the word is. Must see if I get that image for here for the people the way they not be down see that image. What people then for TV I beg when I project with that image for that ADF soldier or machine gun I beg. People then for ACN if I feel help we when I project that the image for ADF soldier or machine gun so that make what people then two for ground zero maybe they not be never see them make they see what it mean. All right. So when I understand the game, now the game this. You must understand the game of the enemy. You counter the game of the enemy, and then you play a better strategy. You must play a better game, a more superior game, a more intelligent game, a more tactical game, where it gives you the advantage of winning. It projects you as a better alternative. Now the goal is, we must project Ambazonia as a more positive and better alternative to the crumbled, brutal, genocidal, unreliable system of Cameroon. We don't be crumbled. We therefore be a better, superior alternative. We therefore be a supreme alternative to Cameroon. We therefore the world therefore look up to it. How we demonstrate that power now matter at the discussion this. Now how we demonstrate that power now it matter. Nothing else. Not being about human rights anymore. About the survival of a people. Because of human rights, they go only catch now a few people then for poor beer government. They accuse them, they judge them, and when they see a poor beer they do. They play a very nice game. When the world want talk plenty, he sacrifice 1 or 2 police officers. When the world want talk plenty, take 1 or 2 army or B. They just sacrifice and say, hey, you know, the military tribunal don't find the person guilty and we don't give you 5 years in prison. And the world will talk, say, okay, all right, you got to understand the game. Now the game that. So that they play that game for their own level for preventing international actions. We got to play the game in order for win the right of self-determination of the Ambazonian people, in order for we to exert our rights for a free homeland through the use of force. Now the language this. I be promise, say, I would take question today. I be also promise, say, people the way, at the end of the month, the month don't come to an end, and some people they be toxic because they not be make their contributions last Saturday. Some people they will make their contributions today. So any person who wants still send a contribution for the stabilization force because the month don't come to an end, you don't take your salary. Please reach out to me, contact me for place where we're going to move forward for increase our defense actions. When our forces that they do great work. I hope say the images where they don't come out for the great state of Bui today. Man. The images where they don't come out for the great state of Bui today. Thank you very much, people, and for ACN. Yeah, so Ambazonians, when I see that image for that ADF soldier with the machine gun, when I see how this thing be very how powerful it be. And the power of this will go for project them to the world. And the power of this, now the image that, a beautiful image, it show power, it demonstrate power. Now the thing this will make ADF. So the ADF forces, they get now 3 missions. All right? Now ADF forces, they get now 3 missions. Number 1, protect the Ambazonian people then. Number 2, liberate the land. And number 3, defend the sovereignty of Ambazonia. Now the 3 missions, then this for ADF. 3. Three missions. Three. Yes, three. Number one, defend the people. Number two, liberate the land. Number three, defend the sovereignty of Ambazonia. Now the three core missions for the Ambazonia Defense Forces and these. So that's why I require a big projection of power on the ground. And so make every Ambazonian take pride for all the people that don't help for build this force. Una take pride. This one una pride. All wa papa them, wa mommy them, wa brother them, wa sister them, even Big Mommy the way that they contribute now. Right? Like Big Mommy for that side for UK we send contribution. You know, like Mommy for Canada. Eh? I want to thank Mommy for Canada. I mean, you know who you be. I want to thank Mommy for Canada. Way after they watch the videos of the stabilization force, Mommy for Canada also then send contribution. So Mommy for Canada, I want to thank you plenty, Mommy. And I want to tell you so love you plenty. All right. So what people them, they be very excited with this strategy. What people they come to an understanding of the effectiveness of this strategy and how important it be. So we'll be very grateful. Now the direction this way, all we get for the move towards. Why would they move towards this direction? I get a couple of recommendations for MACAM. All the defense groups and for down. The month of April, it get for being a month of hell for Cameroon. We get for make the month of April a month of hell to the occupier. It get for being a month of hell to all the colonial infrastructures and to all the colonial administrators. The month of April is a month of hell for the occupier. We get for demonstrate a level of rage in terms of for make sure say we show them saying that the Ambazonian people be in control. So the month of April, a lot of things will happen for ground. For project that power and dominance of the Ambazonian people then. Now game, play to win. And for you for play for win, you must show a level of bravery, of commitment, of determination for tactical operations, for bring down the occupational infrastructure systems. Defense leaders, they get for create a clear action plan of implementation. A clear action plan. Defense leaders, they get for create a clear action plan. If you be a commander, you and your forces get for get an action plan for the month of April, the month of May, the month of June. For people to be successful for their lives. As I tell when I would study these things, the general where he be the lead the war effort for Iraq, the US General Stanley McChrystal. Now one of the greatest American generals. When General Stanley McChrystal, he be go for Iraq. He be go for Iraq. When he go there, the place will be in total chaos. For 1 month, they be carrying out one operation. One tactical operation. And he ask himself, say, if for 1 month, we be carrying out one tactical operation for defeat the terrorist, how long it go take we for win this war? It bring a whole team, thousands of troops, back to the drawing board. They set a goal. They move from 1 month for one action, one big action, for they carry out an action every week. They create a plan for they carry out an action every week. They get a specific target where they must bring them down for Iraq. He still talks it where for do this work, if an action a week, how long will be for you for win this war? It go take win a decades. it bring the people them back for the drawing board. They start to carry out an action a day with the same forces, with the same resources, but not decisiveness, not commitment, not leadership, not for gain results. It take the same forces then we get from action once a month to an action once a week. It no say not be enough for them for achieve the objectives. The same forces them, it get them for commit to an action plan. They start for carry out a raid every night for Baghdad. Then it look and say the work will still be in front of them. They no go fit achieve the goal with the president of the United States set them for them. It bring those same forces for design a plan. They start for carry 10. Una hear fine. They start for carry out 10 raids a night. How you go come up from once a month to once a week to once a day, and then you use the same forces. Now you carry a 10 action for one night. 10. It be possible when you show leadership and you give forces a sense of mission, a sense of purpose. Not create forces and then forces that they only react or being defensive. Why you want to be in a defensive position where you fit take an offensive position and save your own life? Offensive positions, it crumble the enemy and save what people their life. Defensive position, it make what forces they be vulnerable. When I hear fine. When you plan, you take offensive position for go disrupt the enemy, destroy the enemy. It gives you an advantage. When you wait, they can't attack you. You be at a disadvantage and you be vulnerable, so they take you out. So that's why commanders, defense leadership, they get for create offensive action plan for their units. If you not take out the enemy quickly, the enemy can't take you out. So, all, especially the leadership of Ambazonia Defense Forces, the leadership of other defense forces, them forces they live now on missions. When forces they not get missions, you put them at risk. The risk be less when a force it create a plan and it go execute the plan. A risk be less. But when a force is shidon, it the only react now on which the enemy do am. It be at risk for being eliminated. And the psychology this of winning. That's why General Stanley McChrystal he write the book Team of Teams. Team of Teams. They are Kamatsu, now the team of teams. And that elite force, it get a roadmap, a clear plan for victory. For the Ambazonian people them. Also, for gain the confidence and trust. So these forces, they get a mission, they get a well-designed purpose and a plan and effective leadership. And we know say the War Council of Ambazonia will be led by the Defense Chairman Benedictwa, by the Secretary General, Comrade Ayamba, with all their deputies them and all their people them. We hope say then they work on this plan as they don't build the Akamatsu. The Akamatsu get a plan for the liberation of homeland, a plan for disrupt and dismantle colonial infrastructure, colonial outpost. The Ambazonia people, they count on it. Now we will know say the Cameroon Ground National Dialogue 2.0, they want to take place. Now such actions, they go cripple their intentions. This one not be only for the ADF. This one also go for the 7 Qatars. It go for the 7 Qatar. It go for the Mountain Lions. And it go for all the other forces where they be spread all across Amazonia. The messenger for all man. The message not be only for the Supreme General, but for all defense forces them. The Ghost Warriors where they did for Manu. And for all the defense groups. All man. The month of April, now a month of hell for the occupier. The Ambazonia Defense Forces and the leadership for Governing Council of Ambazonia, it could mobilize more resources for supply the groups them, would be loyal to the revolution, to a war of independence, for help sister forces them, where they get a clear plan. Any defense group, create your plan, bring your plan to the leader. The leader will help on for executing. Any defense group, no matter place where you dey, contact the leader, the DDC, Comrade Capo Daniel, and tell them, say, you want to work with the Ambazonia Defense Forces for implement the stabilization plan. When I draw on a plan for a block, when I present the plan to the office of Capo Daniel or to the office of Sheikh Kavi, when I present that plan to any of them, where when I get access to them, when I present that plan, they go review on a plan, and they go see what you need them on behalf of the Ambazonian people them, and we go mobilize those resources for execute that plan. That's why the Governing Council of Ambazonia for lead the liberation for all Ambazonians them, and for help all defense groups them, for make sure say they implement the plan, the National Liberation Plan on behalf of the Ambazonian people them. All right? Now they talk this for today. I will take calls. If any person get any question, I get 20 minutes and I fit take a few calls. Make I take this call with some comrade be the call from Holland, from Europe.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth connected.
All right, so I will take a few calls. Any person will get a question. Any person will be excited about what we don't talk about today. Any person will be very joyful. If you not be committed, if you not be fit for participate for the fundraising will take place the other day, and you want to say, hey, I be missed the fundraising, I be get the invitation, I be not here when I don't talk about it. Please contact me at the end of the month. When I don't receive when I pay, when I don't receive when I salaries, when I don't receive when I end of the month money, contact me. Say, hey, I want to do my patriotic duty for the revolution. I want to participate for the stabilization force phase 2. Contact me. We will help you for channel your funds, and then you will get your letter, your receipt, and your letter of appreciation. All right. London.
Seseko Aswara Asu, business development manager of London, Big Britain. Ube monyo committed. Ube monyo ranega sobre. Seseko Aswara, atutu mahakam, ajongo gene chu. Ube banta ko, ube banta biso. Ube kazini. Seseko Aswara, ube monyo hayawale. Seseko Aswara na chombe ube monyo. Seseko Aswara kose bila hayawale. This is Emilia Ashu of London, Big Britain. Mr. and Mrs. Sagondi of Pectin, Cameroon. They're going to make us walk on. I
Bluetooth
London, Great Britain. Never let on walk off.
Hello? The lines will be open for all man. Lines will be open for all man for call. For any person we get I got a few minutes for take question for which we don't talk, which you want to know, which you want to understand. So I'll be here now for take una question for all which we don't talk for today. We got just a few more minutes for take a few questions for all man. Yes, mommy, thank you very much. That besides the fact that I think I talk to voices in the bushes, I think I talk to president of government. Yes, mommy, thank you. Oh. All right. Any question? I did check with our comments. Any question? Any question? Any person in comment? You want something that you want talk for all which we don't talk for here? You get something we want Adam? You get a question where you get where you want ask me? You know what more you want to know? All right. Okay, so if you not get a question for me, my phone number there for one front. Then I think say we will leave the story for here for today, as all wanna know.
Power off.
All right, so I hope say we don't get a great outing. I hope say what we don't talk for here, it don't help all man for no place who day and what did it happen and what it be the occupier a manipulative agenda and what all man need for no. Now it be now up to we for prepare for defend the land, for prepare for project power. It be now up to we for mobilize ourselves and take these things since we don't come for the finish line. Now the public already be defeated. Now be up to the Ambazonian people then for exert power and proclaim their freedom. And the message this. And if you always reach out for me, and if you always call me for ask question, for gain clarity, for send, oh, I beg, I not fit end this conversation. I not fit end this conversation. We get a comrade where you don't see the forces where Dr. Abadon build them for the Ambazonian people, the forces where the general don't erect them for ground. It don't be so inspired. And this comrade, he be participate for contribute about $4,600 within 2 months. All right. He called the other day. He said, now how much did he sell 100 pairs of boots? I tell you. Today, I want to tell when I say, he don't send half of the money for buy the boots for the forces. All right. I want to tell when I say, that brother, he don't send half of the money for buy 50 pairs of boots for the forces. Wow. Now the inspiration this. Now the commitment this. More and more of our people, that they feel very joyful. I beg, una excuse me, the last few days, too much work and long hours. Obviously, the body distress more. So I guess more kata when I just excuse me. When I not saying, I will never see you wipe your own nose. I beg, when I excuse you, just the nature of the moment. So I want to thank this our brother where he don't commit for buy 100 pairs of boots for the forces, and based on the accountability and the transparency we will owe for our people, then we'll get right for can't tell now, and also for publicly praise ye and for thank ye. So we'll be very grateful. We'll be very extremely grateful. And our forces then we're going to get another 50 pairs of boots within the next 1 week. All right. So my brother, your cafe day up. We thank you plenty. May God bless you. We thank you so much for your dedication, for your care where you get them for the forces. So make sure say they fine. I want also send a special message for Commander Capo of the ADF commander for the great state of Bui, the big warrior for that side for Bui. We'll see you and your forces today when I enter inside Kumbo. The ADF commander for the great state of Bui today, he and the forces for this morning time. They enter inside Kumbo town, in Kumbo town center. They enter inside. Yeah? They send with the videos and the picture. You see the confidence and the courage and the bravery of our forces. Commander Capo, you and your picking them. Commander Ibube, you and your picking them. Commander Riwan, you and una picking them. And the new ADF general for the great state of Bui, una cafe day up. Awo! Not so supreme the talk. Eh? Una cafe day up. Awo! Supreme, I don't talk their language too, no. Grandpa General Sumanguru, Grandpa Devil. Awo! All right. People, then may God bless you now. Una stay fine. We thank una plenty. Say una don't take the time for join we. I'll be available for any person who wants to send the contributions, for any person who wants to send the donations, for any person who wants to send the commitments. We'll be available as always. We're there for serve our people then, and for serve our forces them, and for always lead the Ambazonian people them with character, with integrity, and for make sure say we do what our people they don't ask we. All right. We'll go continue for lead and be and for hope for demonstrate class and togetherness with our people then. All which we do for you. Now we as a people therefore win this freedom for our people then. Not be for some person, now for the glory of the Ambazonian people then. And it will be in some team way. All the forces where they fight for ground. When I know say when they fight now for one fight, not be for some person, but now for the greatness and glory and freedom of Ambazonian people then. And that the country that we all we go belong. Now a country for all man. All right. We love una plenty and we thank una plenty. For all our beginning with they don't watch tonight. One time when I say we love una plenty, all papa and mommy them, as una picking them, we promise for make una proud, and we promise for make sure say una no go ever go through which una don't witness over the last 5 years. We promise as una picking them for end Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia and for give our papa them or mommy them the dignity and the life where they deserve them for live for a free homeland. We know say una not be fit for do the work, but through una and through una own suffer, una don't suffer. It don't inspire we this generation. Una picking them and una grand picking them for rise up for finish this work on una behalf. Now una power the guide we, now una prayers the guide we, now una wisdom the guide we, now una strength the guide we. Now for make sure say una live with dignity. Una good night. May God bless all man. We thank una plenty.
Stay tuned on ACN TV. We will be right back.